Hello, everyone, and welcome to Coffee with Ori. I did tell you guys that I will be traveling, so here is the pre show. I want to talk about how do you know your true self when you're dealing with different things, or dealing with spirituality, or dealing with growth, or dealing with emotional jargons that are not really important. One of the things that I want you to understand as a human being is that we are all born with power. We are born with this God given gift, which is the power within ourselves, the power to make things move, the power to make things change, the power to make things shift however and wherever way we want it to. Along the years, it's been watered down because society has taught us that we need to rely on the church and only on the church in order for things to move well. Wherein the reality and the 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 the, the self-governing truth is that there are parts of the Bible that yes has been deleted, and a lot of those books was the book of Enoch, and that there talks about angels and demons and spirituality and how to deal and how to do things. So when quote unquote, when Christ said to John that, anything that you pray in my name, you'll be able to heal. And that's the way the Bible says it. The question is it really that way? I believe that through Reiki and through other energy exchanges, we are able to figure out uh, what it is to keep ourselves symbolically aligned. Some people believe that charms are very important to have. I believe that. I believe that everyone who is spiritual should carry a just symbol of Megatron. And I don't mean Megatron a cartoon. I mean Megatron, which is, you know, um, it's actually like the symbol that has all of those astrological charts, and they have it in Aramaic, they have it in Greece, and they have it in the Greek, and they have it in English. And this, the center is a pentacle or a pentagram, however you want to say it. And that's a medallion that is for protection. That medallion works very well because it's the basically it's the seven feathers that was given to Enoch. Um, the seven feathers that were given to Enoch by God, and Enoch became an angel. So it's something that's very important to understand and to know. If you guys don't know, then read the book of Enoch and you will understand how important these things are. Now, fighting within yourself when seems so right and yet you feel that it feels so wrong because of what your family has said, or because of what society has said, or what because of what the church has done or said, you know, that's a very foolish move, because at the end of the day, you are not really doing anything to help yourself. You're walking away. You're whitewashing it because you don't want to get involved in something that you feel is much deeper. I don't believe that. I believe that the political jargon, and I do mean political, the political jargon that the church puts on you, I think that right there is what causes us to not want to participate in what it is, what is spiritual spiritual politics versus religious politics. Now, inside of ourselves, there is something very special that lives. Sometimes it's dormant, and sometimes it's not. There are people who are born very, very spiritual, but then there are people who are born uh, that are born with veils with veils, which they're even extremely more important because they are seers. And then there are people that are born, that come back and remember their past life because that is what they're supposed to do. There's a lot of forms of magic, and there's a lot of forms of spirituality, and there's a lot of forms of things that make us and break us. So I want to talk to you about some of the things that we fail in as adults. We fail in this thing because we want to fill our minds and ourselves with joy and laughter. We want to hang on to people because we believe that we need them to make us love us, but it's not true. I said it before and I say it again. Happiness doesn't exist. Happy moments exist. One happy moment can last 20 years, but it's only a moment in God's eyes. So we have to understand that although the good and the bad dance together, a beautiful tango, and it has to be one and the other in order to connect, we can still rise above that to find who we are. One of the things, one of the ways or the reasons that we don't find who we are a lot of the times is because we are with someone who in the beginning they may find you to be very interesting because you know a lot about spirituality and you teach them and they're all fine and they're all good with it. But after a while, they get tired because they don't really understand it. They understand you. They don't understand what this whole thing is. So they'll start looking at you like you're crazy, and they start making comments about what your beliefs are to people, and that creates a little bit of a chaos, in the home. So my suggestion to people is, if you are with someone and you meet them and they know who you are and what you are from day one, then that's fine. But if you're with that one person and you tell them and you let them know who you are from the beginning, and that person mistreats you or mistreats whatever you believe in or talks down about it, then you know what? You don't need to be there. Because in the long run, you don't need to be with anyone that's going to disgrace what you believe in. And if you allow it to, then that means you're not an honorable person because you don't honor what you believe in. I I recently had a gentleman who, gentleman caller, and at the end of the day, he was insistent that I go pick him up somewhere, and I was like, I'm not a taxi, and I'm not picking you up, and then the one thing that he said was "F you and F your religion," and I said, fine, I'll remember that. So a few days later, he calls and he says, it wasn't me, it was somebody that was using my phone. And I said, no, I don't believe that because at the end of the day, it's your phone. And who in their right mind, being of your age, is going to play these games with lending their phones to people and then having them talk to me about my religion when nobody really even knows anything about my religion, not even you, because I only light a few candles in my house and you don't really see anything. So at the end of the day, when people attack what you believe in because they don't believe in it, it's not about belief system, it's about the ignorance of people. It's about the when and the how. When did it happen and how did it happen? And sometimes it leaves you with mind farts because you're like, why am I, what happened? What happened? I don't understand. And then there are a lot of people who will, because of love, in parentheses, they will leave their religion or they will push it aside because they felt that it was the best thing to do. So it's not, and it shouldn't be, one of the things that you should think about. It should be, if you believe in God's spirits, angels, guides, then that's what you should believe in. You shouldn't believe in things that don't add up to you and don't add up to your expectation, or that they don't meet your expectations somehow. You shouldn't do that. And if people are going to judge you for what you have and for what you believe in, then that's not the kind of person you should be with. You know, people that are Christian believe in God and want you to believe in God, and they want you to be Christians like them. And it's okay if you curse or whatever. They accept you because, you know, you have given yourself up to Christ and whatever. And that's all fine and good if that's what you want. But if that's not what you're into, then you need to really think about these things and decide in what order you're going to go and how you're going to do it. You know, the rest is not important. Everything else will follow. But faith and loyalty and hope is what we have to hold on to. That's what our religion teaches us. That's what being a free spirit, or being a spiritualist, or being a medium, or being clairaudient, clairvoyant, you know, people who are empath. That's what we are. That is who we are. That is what we are. And that has to be the first thing that you develop yourself in. That should be the first thing. Once you have a development and you have an understanding with God, with your ancestors, then and only then are you able to deal with everything that's happening, all this rigmarole that's happening in the world right now. There's a lot of chaos happening. There's a lot of bad things that are happening. But at the end of the day, there are also good things that are happening. So we have to look at the bad, and we also have to look at the good. And we always have to make sure that when we're looking at the bad, we're not criticizing it, we're not judging it. And when we look at the good, we're not praising it to praise it. Okay? I think that one of the things that pisses God off the most is when people use his name and they say, well, I have all of this because God gave me this, and da 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 da, and this person is jealous of me because of this and because of that. What part of that makes you a Christian? That's what I want to know. Okay? So, although there may be confusion of why or who you are, you should never believe that someone else can tell you who you are as a human being, or who you're supposed to be as a spiritual being. Yes, there are people who are spiritual that can see things around you, but it doesn't mean that they can pinpoint exactly everything that you are. What you are, who you are, what you've become, it's all on you. And if you cannot honor God and honor yourself at the same time, then you can't honor anybody. God doesn't want you to be second. God doesn't want you to be walking around as if you had no beliefs. God does not want you to use his name in vain, but yet people do it all the time. God doesn't want you to feel like his love is not there because of what you're thinking of or the way you are. That's all bogus, you know. The God of my understanding loves me for me because he created me in his image. The God of my understanding accepts me for everything I am and for everything I do. They accept me, and I am living in gratitude every day because of the fact that I am loved in that way. So, in trying to figure out who we are, we need to sometimes affirm within ourselves, acknowledge within ourselves the voice that we hear within ourselves. Now, you may hear the voice, and the voice may sound like your voice, and you may think in your head, "Oh well, you know, I'm telling myself this, so you know, this is what it is." No, it's not what it is. It goes deeper than that. Yourself, the person you are inside, is never really going to manifest truly unless you continuously work on yourself on a spiritual base. And that's not easy, but it's not difficult either, okay? We're not asking you to worship, we're asking you to acknowledge, which is a very big difference. Worshiping is one thing, acknowledging the presence is another thing. You know, we worship God. You know, you guys worship, a lot of people worship Jesus. You know, Muslims worship Muhammad. You know, the Torah believes in, you know, in, what do you call that? In Abraham. And that's fine. Believe whatever you want. Because at the end of the day, that is the only thing that God has given us. He's given us the power of choice to decide what we're going to do and how we're going to do it and what we're going to do with it, whether we disguise it or not. Okay? Sometimes there's a lot of people out there in the world. There's a lot of men out there in the world who have children who at that moment they were not ready to have children. Okay, I believe that a woman is always more in tune with her body and her mind, that she's able to accept when she's going to have a child, whereas a man, and even if it's a young man, he's not going to be aware of many things. He's going to be aware of stupid things, and at the end of the day, all he's going to do is, he's going to try to give you advice and try to make you believe that what he believes in is what you should believe in. Some men are not ready to be fathers, so they walk away. It's hard. It's hard not to it's hard not to love them. It's hard not to accept them, and it's hard not to understand them. But at the end of the day, if you really are loyal to him, then you should understand that his belief system is not your belief system, and it doesn't have to be, because two people can coexist even if you have different belief systems. You don't always have to match what the other person is saying or doing or is about to say. The same with women. A lot of women, you women out there, you have religions and then you stop what you're doing when you meet this person, because you're like, oh, he's my match, and he is my what do you call that? He's my mate. He's my
Soulmate.
soulmate. There you go. He's my equal. And in reality, it's not about being an equal. If he was your equal and he accepted you the way you were when you met him, then why did you change who you were to please him? If he didn't want you to please him, he just wanted you to acknowledge him as a person. I don't get that. And using that love, 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 I think it's overrated. I think that people use the word so much that it has no meaning. I always tell people when they say, I'm going to love you like no one else, I'm going to show you. I tell them, don't tell me you're going to love me. Show me you're going to love me. Show me love. Don't tell me about love, because the reality is, what can they buy for me that I can't buy for myself? Nothing. What can they do for me that I cannot do for myself? Nothing. What can they aspire where they can pull me up with them? Nothing. Nothing. Because I've always made this very clear. If I die tomorrow, I've achieved so much and so many things in this lifetime and have helped thousands and thousands and thousands of people to the point where it doesn't matter to me. If the creator is ready for me, I'm ready. If spirit, angels, guides, if they're ready, I'm ready. I'm not going to fight. I'm not going to fight the big fight because they feel that I'm ready. No. When I'm ready, I'll know when I'm ready. So, with that being said, this is another thing why people don't want to deal with spirituality, because it scares them. It scares them when they hear in their head, that somebody's going to die. And then when they die, you're like, oh my God, did I do this? Was it my fault? No, it's not your fault. The reality is, the question about all of this is why? Why are we the way we are? And how do we know what we're going to be? But see, I can't answer that question of who we are, because that answer has to come from you. What is it about you that makes you different from everyone else in the world? Anytime you have a problem, you listen to that inner voice. Everyone has the inner voice. Everybody had that God voice. We were born with it. It is our God-given right. It is our God-given birth to understand what spirituality is. What has happened is society plus religion have come up with a plan so that we are kind of like spiritually stupid. So we don't really know, and we really don't believe. And then there are people who say, well, I'm spiritual. Well, what the hell does that mean, spiritual? You don't believe in God. You don't believe in this. You don't believe in that. But yet you call yourself spiritual. Why don't you just call yourself nothing? Nothing. I'm a nothing. Because you have to have some type of foundation. And this is where I tell you, loyalty comes in. Loyalty to God, loyalty to the universe, loyalty to everything that God and the universe provides to you every single day, each and every single day, from all different directions that come to you, that help you financially stabilize yourself, that give you the strength so that you can be strong. These are the things that you need to focus on. And if you're not a loyal person to God, then how can I expect you to be a loyal person to me? Because it's reality. There's a lot of things that are happening, and they're happening quickly. So we need to really look at these things, and we need to acknowledge, is this what I want to do? Or is this what I want to do? Or do I need to be in this corner? Do I have to go to church, and do I have to listen to everything that is said? Well, you know what? You have a Bible. Pick it up. And if you really want to know, and you really want to make the decision that you are trying to make within yourself of how you are and who you are and why you are, read the Bible from the back to the beginning. Not from the beginning to the end, from the back, from Revelation all the way back to the beginning. Why? Because it's the only way that you're going to be able to see and differentiate between God and Jesus. And you're going to realize that the God of your understanding wasn't so peaceful, was not peaceful. There was a lot of wars at that time. He allowed a lot of things to happen. To this day, he's allowing things to happen. And I don't want to see a miracle where the world just stands still and everybody is in good. No, I already saw that with COVID. I already saw the world stop and pray and praise. I've already seen that. And what did it do? Nothing. How did it help you? How did it change you? Technically, it didn't really change you. It made you more aware of things, but it didn't really change you. It didn't really change. If you're a nasty human being, it didn't change your nastiness. It didn't change you. It made you such a better person. It didn't do that. It didn't do any of those things. So my thing with you is you need to understand that when, where, and how, and then why. Okay, when you were born, right? Where you reside. What? Exactly that. What have you decided? What have you decided in your life that you want to be? And the last one. So you have to analyze these three first before you can actually answer the question for the last one. Now, I'm not telling you to get out of a belief system that you are already used to. I'm not asking you to do that. I'm not asking you to not trust in God, because I live my life through God. And, and then anything that I do, I trust in God and trust in the universe. I trust in spirit, angels, and guides. I trust in the whole gamut of what society believes that it's not the right way, but yet ministers and priests believe in angels and they believe in demons. So why can't they believe in spirituality, the essence your ancestors, or believe that you came here to do something that's more special than you. There are certain people that have discernment that yes, they know. They know from the minute you are in the belly, they know, they can see, they can feel my child is going to become great, and it happens. Um, One of the things that I need you guys to really 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 stop and really analyze is the why. The why. If someone is beating the crap out of you and you're staying there and you're holding it because you're there, and you have children from this person, and you're not working, and they're supplying everything for you, and you're allowing them to do this to you, and they keep beating you, why is it that you beat up on yourself? And to you it becomes like, I deserve this. Why would you deserve that? Why do you deserve to get beat when in reality it's not who you are, it's not what you are, it's not what you're doing, it's not what you're getting. So at the end of the day, you have to make sure that everything that you want is within your grasp. Don't be with someone because you feel like, oh, but I love them and I don't want them to leave. Well, if you want to keep getting your ass kicked, then stay with the person. If you want to be able to, if you want to constantly get offended by their family members, or the fact that you walk on the street and everybody laughs at you because they know they're cheating on you, then stay if that's what you want. But don't waste your time praying to God in church on Sunday and then thinking that your man is going to change by Monday. Nothing works like that. Nothing works that fast. And the reason that it doesn't is because I think that God half the time is testing our faith and testing our loyalty to Him. I don't know what God thinks about me or my loyalty. I just know that I am loyal. I believe in what I believe in, and I believe that we are all spiritual beings. So we came here for a reason. We came here to do a couple of things, so we're doing it. We need to enjoy it. We need to understand that this this section of our lives that we're trying to figure out why and who we are is such a deep rooted feeling that we need to stop judging ourselves and feeling sorry for ourselves, and stop allowing other people to make decisions of who we are and where we're supposed to be, because it's no one's right to make assumptions about what you are, who you are, how you're going to be, how you're not going to be. So because it is their assumption, that is their problem. It is their assumption, it's their problem, it's not your problem. So you need to make sure that you're always focused on what it is that you know. And if you've been guided by a master teacher of spiritualists that guide you, and you're being guided and everything is working fine, why do you feel the need to jump and jump and jump and jump? I don't understand that. If you get read today and this is what Spirit said, and the person is reputable, why do you need to go somewhere else to get another answer? And then jump to somebody else and get another answer. Why? Why? That reminds me of, again, like I said the last time, like a cafeteria Catholic. You take what you want and that's what you work on. But it doesn't work like that with Spirit. See, Spirit will tell you what it is that you need to know and then break it down. I had a client here in my house this week. For those who know me, I don't like people in my home. But I had a client here, and she was referred by a woman who is initiated in the Yoruba faith, and she has a store in Miami, and I've done masses for her and other people, and she wanted me to read this woman, so I read her. And when I asked her a question, she kind of like looked at me and denied when I already knew the answer. So I just left it alone. And part of my question to her was, if you love your husband, then why are you divorcing your husband? There's no need for you to divorce your husband. What you need is communication. And if you don't have communication, you have nothing. And she gave me a whole bunch of hoopla about what she saw, what she's been through, whatever. And I said, yeah, but this is not the first time that it's happened. Oh, but I love him. And okay, so you love him, but you want to divorce him because you love him. Okay? That doesn't make any sense. Do you know who you are? Do you know what you want? Do you know what you are ready to accept as a human being, as a child of God? She just said, well, I just love him, and I don't want to make no way for my children or whatever. I said, look, you're making an excuse. Your oldest child is 17, the youngest one is 16. And if at this point in the time they don't know how your husband is, how their father is, always yelling at you, making you feel like crap, I said, why would they want you to stay with him? They'd rather you leave, and yet you're still there. I said, so you have to put your foot down and you have to decide, how important am I? And once you know how important you are, everything else will fall in order. It's all about having order, and it's all about having loyalty, not just to God, but to yourself. You have to be loyal to your word. You have to be loyal to your friends. You have to be loyal. It's not about gossiping about people or complaining about people, but it's about letting people know how you feel at that particular moment, whether they like it or not. You let them know how you feel, so you don't have to stress with anything else. You can just allow things to just flow the way they flow. I think it's very important that we as human beings, we learn to close our eyes and to take at least 5 minutes of breathing exercises, breathing in as deep as you can and then releasing it, but breathing in as deep as you can and then releasing it. It not only will fill your lungs, but it will also fill your mind. Okay? Fasting is an amazing way to connect yourself with spirit, to find out who the real you is to look deep down inside yourself. So, like I said, fasting is something that is very important to us as spiritual beings, but so are other things. Okay, you have people that are Wiccans, and they work a different way. You have regular spiritists, which are spiritual people who deal with spirit. Um, you have clairvoyance, you have clairaudits, you have sensitive people who are sensitive, and at the end of the day, everything will fall in the presence of God. I see, and it's, hold on a second. It's something that's very important. It's something that's very important that we should understand. Hold on a second. Hold on.
Only you.
Sorry about that, guys. Anyway, so like I said, understanding yourself is not just about understanding, okay, I am Ori Vanderview, and that's who I am. No, there's more to Ori Vanderview than just that. I wasn't always Ori Vanderview, and I had a life that was filled with so much, and I did so much, and I got so involved, and I was in pain, and nobody ever saw the pain. All everybody saw was the happy kid that went through, that just lived a normal life and he was happy. No, but you don't know the deep rooted problems that I had as a child, all the way until I decided to become someone else. And I didn't do that because I wanted to be someone else so I could throw it in your face. I did it because I wanted a change for me, and I needed a change for me. And part of my change was my identity. If I change my identity, change my name, change where I live, then I am someone else. And I got to see and I got to understand who I was as a human being. And I got to see that I was a child of God first, but then I was a child of spirit second. And if you ask me today, would you trade your spirituality for, let's say, $1 million? This is honest. No matter how much $1 million can buy, it cannot buy my faith, and it cannot buy my hope, and it cannot buy my loyalty to spirit. You know, spirit is something that has been with me my whole life, has guided me my whole life. And when I got to understand it, I got to understand who I was. And again, what is your self-worth? Because part of getting to know who you are is knowing what your self-worth is. You know, there are a lot of people that can be bought. But the question is, you can be bought, but are you really happy with that? And I don't believe that it is. I don't believe people are happy. I don't believe that people generate good energy, if they are bought. Sometimes people are bought in life. Unfortunately, in this society that we live in, there are people who are bought like children who are taken and bought in the black market. And that to me is very sad. But then again, there are laws against this stuff, and our government is no different. Our government knows what goes on here because we are actually the biggest people people selling our country there is. Now, again, if you know who you are, then you need to learn to walk the walk, not just talk the talk. You need to trust in God and the Spirit so much that you can go out and you can say to Spirit in your mind, I don't want to participate in anything that does not have to do with you or God. And then you can go and have a good time, and nothing will affect you. No bad energy, nothing will affect you. Because it is by your free will that you've done this. You have chosen to say, I choose not to participate in anything that will, cause me pain or problems or arguments or whatever. And because you've done that, you've activated spirit. So that's when you know that you have a connection with spirit. Driving around in a parking lot and you're saying to spirit, please help me. I would like to park closer because I have things that I have to pull into the store or pull out of the store. And then you just keep driving, and all of a sudden, boom, there's a spot that opens up for you. You know what? It's the grace of God and the grace of the universe. The universe is just as graceful. So we really need to take a look at who we're with. There's a saying that says, show me who you're with and I'll tell you who you are. And it's very deep, and it's a Spanish saying. And I remember growing up and my mother always saying that, show me who you are with and I will tell you who you are. And I never got to understand it until I got older. And I realized that all she was saying was, look at what you're walking with. Look at who you're walking with. What kind of person are you walking with, because you're not even aware of who you're walking with. But a person that's in the inside, outside looking in, they can easily pinpoint who it is that you're walking with. You may not agree with them at that particular moment, but they're going by their belief system. Okay? So then they want to know, they've done everything in their power to know, and they're basically stuck. Okay, that's understandable. I look at things in a very different light. I look at things as, if I know you as a person and you are my friend or you claim to be my friend, you better believe that I'm going to test you as a friend. And I don't care if people think that's a really bad thing. I don't care. I will test you. I've tested all my friends that were my friends. That's why they're no longer my friends. So I put everybody through a test because I know who I am. I know where I'm going. I know what path I'm taking. I know in which direction I want to go and what direction I choose to go. I got to know me. I got to know the young me the 4-year-old that started getting abused, I got to know that part. So my question to you all is, what part of your life are you looking at? Are you looking at your childhood? Are you looking at when the situation in your life happened? Are you looking at how old you were when you allowed people to walk over you? I mean, men and women both. Okay, there are women who want good men, and when they have them, they treat them like crap. And the man, I'm sorry, but if you deal with the shit and you're an idiot, you should walk away from people who don't know how to appreciate you as a human being. And the same goes for women. There's no reason to take crap from people. And I know a lot of strong women, who are young women, who have walked away from relationships just because the relationship wasn't working and because the partner they were with was an asshole. And I get that. And that's okay, excuse my cursing, but that's okay. As long as you are aware of who they are, and what you are, that's all that matters. Nothing else matters, really. The only thing that you have to keep your mind focused on is, when am I going to become this person? How am I going to become this person? And what type of person am I going to become? I can't answer that. Only you can answer that. Because you have to know what kind of a person you want to be. If you want to be a dick, then you're going to be a dick. If you want to be a good person, then you're going to be a good person. If you're going to be a mean-spirited person, then you're going to be a mean-spirited person. If you're going to have and be able to give and bless other people, then that shows you which way you're going. God blesses you and the universe blesses you with many things. Why can you not help someone else when they're in need, if they're in need? It's all you need to do is to start with one step at a time. One step, not 1,000 steps at one time. One step at a time will bring you closer to who you are supposed to be, and when you're supposed to gather that information, and when you're supposed to make changes in your life. Okay? You hear the airplanes because I live very close to the airport, so you're going to always hear that. My windows are open. So, getting to know who you are, although it may sound like it's a simple thing, it is not a simple thing, it's very complicated. Getting to know who you are is by checking yourself every chance you get, every time you say something or you're thinking of something that's negative towards someone, check yourself and don't allow it to happen. I've done it. I do it, but then I check myself and I'm like, I apologize. And they're like, for what? You didn't say anything. No, but not for what I said, but for what I was thinking. And then I checked myself and I realized that I don't truly know you that well. So you have to learn to check yourself in order to find out who you are. You need to be the person that is a person of their word. If you say no, then it's no. Don't say no and then do yes after a while. Don't say no and then 5 minutes later, you're like, oh, well, you know what? I need to just let it go, move on. No, you don't. You can nurse the pain. You can nurse the feeling. You can nurse everything that you are going through. And when you are finished mourning, then you let it go. Then it is up to you to let it go. It's not to anybody else. It's up to you. So in doing that, you get to learn how you are and how you can be. You can become. You know that you don't have to be stuck. That you don't have to be just in one place listening to one thing or dealing with drama of one thing. No, you can basically say, this is who I am, and this is what I am, and this is what I'm doing, and I'm going to move forward, and I'm just going to leave things alone. And that's what you need to do. But you need to get to know yourself before you can heal, or before you can do anything, or before you can manifest anything, or before you can build anything. You have to know where you are. You have to know who you are. You have to know where you're going. And you have to know how far you're willing to go to sacrifice who you are, or at this moment, to become who you want to be in the future. Okay? That is basically the way I look at things, and it's basically the way that people should look at things, because if you looked at it through reality rather than look at it through rose-colored glasses, you will never have this problem. And I'm not saying that I don't understand, because I've been there. I have been there, and there are many people that I love that have been through the same thing and are still going through things. Hold on, another airplane. So, because people that have gone through this metamorphosis have gone through pain and sorrow, and then looking for insight, and truly believe that they have the power to control everything around them, even themselves, as long as they have loyalty to God and to the universe. Trust and believe. Once you guys figure it out, you will understand how beautiful it is to depend on spirit to guide you on a daily basis, because spirit is always aware of what you're doing. Spirit is always there to protect you, and spirit is always there to guide you. All you have to do is ask. And if you don't know your spirit guides, just close your eyes and say to my angels, to my spirit guides, to my ancestors, I don't know you, but I would appreciate it if you give me a name. And whatever name comes to your mind, for whoever, you start writing it down, and you keep it on your altar. Don't tell anybody, because it's better if people don't really know what you're dealing with or who you're dealing with. It's easier for you to keep yourself going, keep yourself focused, pull back on things that you want to do, like tell everybody or tell your friends, oh, I had this experience, or I had that experience. No, keep your mouth shut. Do what you have to do. It's very important. If you want to move forward, you cannot move forward if you are constantly telling people what your business is and what it is that you're going to do. Because people will love you and they will help you and they will push you to a certain degree. And the moment they push you to get up there and you make it up there, they're going to find a way to bring you down. So just keep that in mind. Well, it's 7:50. I'm going to let you go. Commercial's going to come on, and I'm going to let you go. And happy Monday. Be blessed. Light and love. I'll be thinking about you wherever you guys are and wherever I am. Okay? Peace and love.